Stop a second. Space. Just each one of you stop a second, space, okay? Go. Yeah. Give each other about 5 feet in between. So wait and space. Just so we won't gather up at the beginning. It's alright, you stop. It's okay. Oh, well, it worked for a little bit. 2 rows. Let me see if I can get 2 rows.
You're gonna make me do the same thing. exercises of Emmanuel College are now open. Let the celebration begin. Sister Flavia Caleri, Associate Professor of Italian, will deliver the invocation. Will you please remain standing?
All-loving God, whose word and wisdom fills the universe with splendor and wonder, may your light shine in and through our graduates of the class of 1989. May they bring your light and your hope to all whose lives they may touch in the future. May they see your word and reflect your wisdom wherever they may be. To a society marked by greed and violence, may they bring your generosity and gentleness. To a suffering humanity, may they bring your healing. May they know, may they experience your goodness, the gift of your infinite love, the love that moves the sun and all the others.
Distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty and staff, alumni, relatives and friends of the graduates, and most especially the members of the class of 1989, I welcome you. This is indeed a joyous occasion. Joyous because of the growth that has occurred in the graduates seated here today. Each of these persons has had her or his horizons expanded. Those who have contributed to this expansion and growth include the Emmanuel faculty, staff, families, and friends. Today, we take pride in these graduates because they have become part of us as we have become part of them. This year's graduating class reflects a diverse student population in terms of religion, race, culture, sex, and age, and we are very proud of this diversity. For example, we have before us two distinctly different yet similar groups of students. The traditional students are women between the ages of 18 and 22. Our adult learning continuing education students are women and men who are 23 years of age or older. These adult learners usually have multiple roles, including professional worker, parent, spouse, and student. Fulfilling their various roles and moral responsibilities while pursuing an education obviously is not an easy task. Because of the action energy and commitment that is required to complete your academic degrees, we salute the adult learner continuing education members of the class of 1989. Would you please stand? Thank you. Let me share some more specific information about this class of 1989. 203 degrees will be conferred. 32 Masters of Arts degrees, 3 Masters in Education, 7 Bachelors of Fine Arts, 87 Bachelor of Arts, and 74 Bachelor of Science. The Master in Education degrees are being conferred for the first time since 1970, having been given at this college from 1929 to 1970. The 203 degrees awarded today bring the total number of degrees awarded by the college to 12,108. Many of these students will go on, or many of the graduates will go on to study at graduate institutions, such as Providence College, Rutgers University, Andover Newton Theological School, Simmons College, Harvard Divinity School, Boston University, Massachusetts College of Art, University of Massachusetts at Amherst, Jersey City State College, University of San Francisco, California School of Professional Psychology, University of Maine, and even your soon-to-be alma mater, Emmanuel College. Our graduates will study in a variety of fields, including art history, counseling, education, criminal justice, law, social work, among other fields, which indicates the breadth and depth of their study at Emmanuel College. I am pleased at this time to introduce to you Sister Janet Eisner, SND, 12th President of Emmanuel College, who completed 10 years of President on May 10th of this year, which is no small feat in this day of higher education. Sister Janet will address the graduates.
Members of the Board of Trustees and Corporation, distinguished guests, alumni, faculty, administration, and staff, with you, I extend best wishes to the parents, the family, and friends of Emmanuel College's class of 1989. To the graduates of 1989, those receiving baccalaureate degrees and those receiving master's degrees, I say congratulations on the successful completion of your college education. As graduates of the class of 1989, you touched the roots of Emmanuel in a special way. In Emmanuel's 70th year, the college celebrated the life accomplishments of its founder, Sister Helen Madeline Ingraham, on the occasion of her death at the age of 101. You students had the privilege of participating in that celebration as the last class of students who will know the living link with the founding of Emmanuel. The legacy of the founding and the refounding is yours, in a special way, to extend to future generations of Emmanuel students. We recall the oration for the foundation of Emmanuel in the words of the founder. The purpose of Emmanuel College is to provide a liberal education which would lack none of the advantages offered to women by colleges in and near Boston, but which would at the same time be integrated with Catholic principles. The purpose is to provide an opportunity to live, to learn, and to love. For 70 years, the college has fulfilled its original purpose and dedicated itself to the tradition of excellence which distinguishes the Emmanuel degree you will receive today. The opportunity for such an education is possible because of dedicated educators and because of your family's commitment to quality education. Emmanuel College is a college of families. Many of you have sisters, mothers, grandmothers, daughters, aunts, cousins who have attended Emmanuel. For how many is that true? But today, there is one family the college wishes to recognize. When the wife of Gino Izzi died of cancer 18 years ago, he had 7 children to raise. He became a school teacher in the Boston Public Schools so that he could be home afternoons with his children. Today is Gino Izzi's 5th Emmanuel Commencement. His 5 daughters, Andrea in 76, Lisa in 79, Claudia in 82, Anita in 86, and today Carla, graduate from Emmanuel College. In recognition of this distinction, Emmanuel names Gino Izzi an honorary alumnus, and I ask you, Mr. Izzi, to come forward, escorted by your 5 grateful daughters. Mr. Izzi told me Lisa is feeding the baby. Members of the class of 1989, as graduates of Emmanuel College, I call on you to become women and men of conviction. You have begun a process of intellectual inquiry and critical thinking. You have channeled the energies of your mind to analyze the overwhelming array of facts in this, an information age. You have learned to synthesize, to solve problems, and to communicate. Use your keen intellects to be women and men who speak and act with conviction. Class of '89, continue to be people of compassion. In your years here, you have felt for those suffering injustice and illness across the globe and in your own city, and you have been moved to act. You have felt the pain and joys of each other's lives and shared tragedy and disappointment in a spirit of compassion. Continue to feel, class of '89, for those in suffering, and continue with great compassion to reach out to others in love. Class of '89, continue to be people of conscience. In a decade marked by moral scandals in almost every part of our society, you, we all, are called upon to create an ethical environment to thirst for justice and truth. To keep in the minds of Emmanuel students, faculty, alumni, and friends the compelling ethical issues of our times, Emmanuel College will inaugurate in 1990 the Sister Helen Madeline Lecture Series. We shall invite speakers to the campus to engage in discussion and debate on the critical issues of our time so that as a college community, we will call ourselves and others to sound ethical choices. As graduates of a Catholic liberal arts college, you are educated not only for your first job and your first career, but for your second, third, and fourth. And for some of you, this is already at least your second. When you return, class of '89, to Emmanuel in 1994 to help us celebrate the college's 75th anniversary, and when you return for your silver reunion in 2014, may you too speak of the accomplishments of your personal and career goals because of your Emmanuel education, and may others speak of the positive difference you have made in the life of the world. The emphases of your stories may be different from alumni reunions of today, and your accomplishments more varied, because you are the beneficiaries of generations of women who have opened opportunities in new fields for you. You have often heard said at Emmanuel, Emmanuel women celebrate the past and shape the future. Class of '89, on this your commencement day, may you resolve to be women and men of conviction, of compassion, and of conscience. May Emmanuel, God with us, be with each one of you throughout your lives as you take part in shaping the world of the 21st century. Congratulations.
Kristen McCormick, President of the Class of 1989, will now speak on behalf of the graduates.
Good afternoon, Sister Janet Eisner, members of the corporation and the Board of Trustees, Sister Sean Copeland, Dr. Doris Kearns Goodwin, distinguished guests, members of the administration, faculty, and staff, alumni, family, and friends of the graduates, and members of the class of 1989. Well, here we all are, and I know that for many of us, it is very hard to believe that this day has finally arrived. It is very exciting to think of what we have achieved in these past 4 years. At the same time, it is exciting to envision what we will achieve in the next 4 years, the next 14 years, and the next 40 years. As we finish our college careers, as we walk across this very stage with our diplomas, as we pose for the pictures, smile for the cameras, and celebrate with our families and friends, there's a tendency to see this day as an end. No longer can we check student as our occupation. But to commence is to begin. It is the start of a journey that will lead us down many different paths. And as we go our very separate ways, we go with a memory of 4 years at Emmanuel, of the families and friends that helped us and supported us, of the friends we made here and the experiences that we shared here, but most of all of the education that we received here. In 1922, Emmanuel College celebrated the graduation of its first class. Many things have changed since then, but the commitment to educating women has remained the same. In many ways, those women celebrate with us today because we will use our education as they use theirs to change the world and how people live in it, whether in small ways or grand ways. We come from different backgrounds, adult learners, traditional students, but our education is part of all of us, and now we decide what we're going to do with it. As they were so very fond of telling us our freshman year, we are the world. We are part of the generation that will decide how this world is run in 20 years. And we decide as educated women. Robert Kennedy once said, "If we fail to dare, if we do not try, then the next generation will reap the harvest of our indifference. A world we did not want, a world we did not choose, but a world which would have been made better if we had cared more for the results of our labors." I know that we care, and I know that we will try, and we will give the next generation the benefits of what we have learned, both in and out of the classroom. Much awaits our class of 1989. all the best of luck. I myself have enjoyed 4 years of being an Emmanuel Woman on the Move, and I know that you all have too. And they are 4 years that we will carry with us for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. We look forward to a better world because of the class of 1989. Mr. Thomas J. Hines, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, will confer emeritus status on Sister Flavia Caleri, SND, PhD, Associate Professor of Italian. Sister Flavia, will you kindly come forward? Sister Flavia Caleri, Sister of Notre Dame di Namur, Associate Professor of Italian in the Foreign Language Department of Emmanuel College. We recognize you today for your 22 years of loyal service to Emmanuel College. You have committed your life to the education of women, expending yourself wholeheartedly to develop your students' aesthetic appreciations of the art, of truth, and of beauty. This has been your educational mission, carried out always in a Christian context. Dedicated and stimulating teacher, supportive colleague, and friend, you have worked tirelessly through the years for Emmanuel. As a member and chair of the Italian department, you developed and strengthened the program, attracting students who were to share your enthusiasm for the language and the art of Dante. When the Foreign Language Department merged, you became the first chairperson of the newly established academic unit. It is a privilege for Emmanuel College to honor you in this golden jubilee year of your graduation from the college. We honor you as distinguished educator and scholar and beloved member of the Emmanuel College community with the rank of Associate Professor Emerita.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Emmanuel College, I confer upon Sister Flavia Caleri the title of Associate Professor Emeritus.
Mr. Thomas J. Hines, Chairperson of the Board of Trustees, will now confer emeritus status on Dr. Eugene Izadi, Associate Professor of Psychology. The citation will be read by Dr. Carson Johnson, Professor of Psychology. Dr. Izadi, will you kindly come forward?
Eugene J. Izadi, Associate Professor of Psychology of Emmanuel College. We recognize you today for your 28 years of loyal service to Emmanuel College. As a dedicated teacher and wise counselor, you are held in high esteem by your colleagues on the faculty and administration, and you are regarded fondly by the thousands of students whom you have taught and advised. As a valued member of the college community, you are an exemplar of what it means to be collegial. You have given generously of your time and your expertise. You have been a loyal supporter of your faculty and administrative colleagues, and you have never been too busy for a friendly smile or funny anecdote. Foremost among your professional accomplishments are your vision in designing and establishing the programs in gerontology and your leadership in implementing clinical internships for those programs. It is with deep gratitude for all your many professional and personal contributions to the academic life of this community that Emmanuel College confers upon you, Dr. Eugene J. Isati, the rank of Associate Professor Emeritus.
Board of Trustees and Emmanuel College, I confer upon Eugene Isati the title of Associate Professor Emeritus.
Isn't that nice? I almost forgot where I was in the program. I'll be all right. Mr. Thomas J. Hines will confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters on Doris Kearns Goodwin, Ph.D., author. The citation will be read by Dr. John Cusack, Associate Professor of History. Dr. Goodwin, will you kindly come forward?
Doris Kearns Goodwin, educator, biographer, historian, political analyst. Upon graduation from Colby College and enrollment in Phi Beta Kappa, you entered the Department of Government at Harvard University, from which you received your Doctor of Philosophy degree in 1968. In 1967, in spite of your published criticism of the Johnson administration and the Vietnam War, you were selected to become a White House Fellow to the Secretary of Labor, Willard Wirtz. In 1968, you became a staff assistant to President Johnson. In the following year, you joined the faculty at Harvard University, where, as professor of government, you taught until 1977. From 1969 to 1973, as a regular visitor to the Johnson Ranch in Texas, you assisted the former president in writing his memoirs. In 1976, you published Lyndon Johnson and the American Dream, a composite of psychobiography, memoir, and political history. Critically acclaimed, the Johnson biography is a compassionate study of the link between Johnson's psychological drives and his political success. Quoting Lyndon Johnson at length, you succeeded in letting him speak to the reader through you in a work that has been called the best political biography ever written. In 1987, after a decade of research, you published The Fitzgeralds and the Kennedys, a book that represents the richest study we have of a 100-year period in the history of two much chronicled families. A balanced work informed with prudent empathy, it recognizes the epic triumph and tragedy of its subjects. But more than this, like the Johnson biography before it, your latest work is an important contribution to the history of the last century, and a wonderful reminder that during some of the most uncertain years in that history, figures such as Rebecca Baines Johnson, Tom Fitzgerald, and Horatio Alger were guardians of the American dream. For all of these accomplishments and contributions to our society, Emmanuel College is privileged to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the powers delegated to the Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Emmanuel College, I confer upon Doris Kearns Goodwin the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all of the rights and privileges that pertain thereto.
of Doctor of Humane Letters on Sister M. Sean Copeland, Assistant Professor of Theology and Black Studies at Yale University Divinity School. The citation will be read by Sister Elizabeth Michaels, Professor of Mathematics. Sister Sean, would you kindly come forward?
Sister M. Sean Copeland, a sister of St. Dominic, accomplished theologian, respected academician, steadfast advocate for women and all people of color. You are a woman of courage and of vision who believes that each of us has power and must take responsibility to work for change of unjust structures and the building of a better world. Sister Sean, two rich traditions have impacted your life profoundly. The Dominican tradition, with its emphasis on preaching the Word of God, and your African heritage. Most importantly, Nguzo Saba, the 7 African principles of self-empowerment. Your commitment to the Dominican ideal has accompanied you throughout your education, culminating in your work in theological studies at Andover Newton Theological School and Boston College. The fruits of those years of study you now share with students at Yale University Divinity School in your role as Assistant Professor of Theology and Black Studies. As a sister of St. Dominic of the Congregation of the Most Holy Rosary of Adrian, Michigan, your mandate to preach the Word has carried you beyond the lecture hall into the public forum. As writer, public speaker, activist, you exemplify the rich tradition of Dominic. Sister Sean, your embodiment of Nguzo Saba, the 7 African principles, is an inspiration to each of us. We salute you as one who preaches them by her life, most especially the principle of self-determination, to define myself, name myself, speak for myself, instead of being defined and spoken of by others. And the principle of purpose, to work collectively for the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Proofs of this commitment in your life are too numerous to mention. We content ourselves with highlighting your role as co-founder of the National Black Sisters Conference and your collaboration in the founding of an indigenous congregation for women religious in Nigeria, West Africa. In recognition of your exceptional ministry and exemplary life, and with great expectations for your future, Emmanuel College is privileged to confer on you, Sister M. Sean Copeland, OP, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the powers delegated to Emmanuel College by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and Emmanuel College, I confer upon Sister M. Sean Copeland, OP, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges that pertain thereto.
class of 1989, I present your commencement speaker, Sister M. Shawn Copeland.
President Eisner, members of the corporation, of the college, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty colleagues, graduates of the class of 1989, parents, grandparents, spouses, children, relatives, friends of the class of 1989, I greet you. I thank you for the degree the college has conferred upon me. I'm honored both to share this platform with Professor Doris Goodwin and to serve as the speaker at your commencement day exercises. Many years of association with Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, including Sister Mary Ellen O'Keefe, Sister Mary Daniel Turner, your own Sister Helen Wright, Sister Marie Augusta Neal, Sister Carolyn Caveney, and the late Sister Dolores Harrell have given me a deep respect and affection for this congregation of women religious, for the mission they espouse and the ministry they exercise. Emmanuel College is a crystallization of that mission and that ministry. Your college holds a very special place in Catholic education in the United States. It is the first Catholic liberal arts college for women in New England. For 70 years, Emmanuel College has rigorously trained and honed the critical, imaginative, and creative power of women. When Sister Helen Madeleine Ingraham founded this college, women in the United States were excluded from one of the central obligations of a democracy, voting. Yet, for 70 years, Emmanuel College has prepared women to lead and to participate effectively in the cultivation and realization of a good and just, peaceful, political, social, economic order. The high and noble purpose of your college, the achievements and zeal of your faculty, the dedicated efforts of your administrators, the lives and accomplishments of your sister alumnae are rich, multi-textured, multicolored threads woven across 4 generations of women to form the tapestry of the tradition that is renewed in each one of you today. A tradition that is bold, visionary, and liberating. Today, you women of Emmanuel, the class of 1989, inherit this priceless heirloom. Its preservation is your responsibility. Honor and remember those pioneering women who have gone before you and whose sacrifices have made higher education for women in this country and your graduation day possible. Cherish and respect those young women and men who shall come after you, who will need your loyalty, your generosity, and your concern if they too are to enjoy their heritage as graduates of Emmanuel. How baffling how contradictory, how quixotic is life in these United States. As we approach the 21st century, as a nation, as a people, we spin in a spiral of decline. Bewildered and unsure, we scramble for refuge from our rich diversity, seeking shallow conformity. We are weak from the poison of old wounds. The genocide of women and men and children native to this land. The embrace of slavery with the simultaneous demand for independence. Vicious anti-Semitism. Virulent racism. The suppression of women of all racial, ethnic groups. The cruel ethnocentrism that deprived immigrant peoples of their names and mocked their heritage. As a nation, as a people, we spin in a spiral of decline. We have grown indifferent to the casualties of poverty. We soak ourselves in one mindless motion picture after another, drenching our leisure in violence and in pornography. We are numb to the sexual and physical abuse of our children. Our tolerance has permitted drugs and crime to mold the hearts and minds of our youth, to drain human potential, to reshape the landscape of our municipalities. Our laissez-faire greed has allowed multinational corporations to grow sleek on the sweat of women and men and children of the third world. Our abdication of responsibilities as citizens has given us a Congress that invests more of our tax dollars in missiles, in bombers, and in nuclear submarines than in housing, in education, and in healthcare. How baffling, how contradictory, how bewildering, how quixotic is life in these United States. At the dawn of the 21st century, as a nation, as a people, we are enmeshed in a spiral of decline. This situation comes as no surprise to you. Your years of study here have not taken place in a vacuum. Many of you as adult learners are those who were forced to postpone college or graduate education because you accepted responsibilities to your children, to your aging or ill parents, or to family members in need. Or perhaps some of you were forced to delay your college or graduate education because of someone else's notion about the place and role of a woman in society. Some of you have carried the bittersweet load of child and family care while completing your degree, setting aside late night or early morning hours for study. Some of you have assumed employment while completing your degree, daily shuttling between two worlds, blending theory and practice. The situation of our decline comes as no surprise to you. During your years of study here, some of you made time to work at Rosie's Place, at Day is Done, or the Pine Street Inn. Others of you participated in programs and projects designed to raise our consciousness about the systemic causes of hunger, of homelessness, about the political and social conditions in South Africa, in El Salvador, in Guatemala, in Nicaragua. Still others have given energy, heart, mind, and soul to develop and to conduct international and cultural conversations within your college community, naming and claiming, celebrating the brilliance of each one's heritage. Your years of study have not taken place in a vacuum. Yet today inaugurates a new phase in your relation to this situation and to its consequences. Today, each of you assumes a new and distinctive measure of responsibility in regard to this situation and to the future it portends. Today, each of you confronts this spiral of decline with new purpose, new insights, new solutions, new vitality. Your generosity of spirit, strength of intellect, determination are sorely needed if we are to advance from the 21st century and to construct the foundations of the 22nd century. To mark your commencement, your parents, your spouses, your children, your relatives, your friends have given and shall give you gifts. I too wish to give you a gift. I give you this gift in the spirit of the formidable African-American educator Mary McLeod Bethune. The legacy of her commitment to excellence in education for women, particularly black women, is institutionalized in Florida's Bethune-Cookman College. Indeed, the Emmanuel College community has had a glimpse of Mary McLeod Bethune's fire and energy and willpower in the life and work and dying of her late cousin, your Assistant Dean for Academic Support, Sister Dolores Harrell. I offer you 3 gifts against this baffling, contradictory, bewildering, quixotic situation. 3 gifts by which you might contribute to shifting the gravity of our decline. 3 gifts for your future, for the future of our country, for the future of our world, for your children, the very future of humanity. Critical attentiveness, courage, and compassion. The first gift is the gift of critical attentiveness. Critical attentiveness begins in wonder. Wonder mothers attentiveness, for wonder is the condition for the possibility of all knowledge. Attentiveness that is critical questions in order to understand clearly. Attentiveness that is critical unmasks the disguises of falsehood. Attentiveness that is critical explores the contradictions that undermine our highest values. Critical attentiveness is achieved through self-discipline, through unremitting alertness, through thoughtful and probing conversation, through rigorous and habitual reflection on and understanding of experience, through intelligent judgment and exercise of responsibility. Be critically attentive. Be critically attentive to the character of our communal life in the United States, the opportunity it offers to the few, the possibility it denies the many, the obsolescence it designs, the disposability it markets. Be critically attentive to the habits of your hearts. Be critically attentive to the city or town in which you live. Be suspicious of the political campaign mired in innuendo, of the political platform that is composed of one-liners, of the public official more concerned with personal popularity than with honesty. Be critically attentive to the neighborhood in which you reside. Be attentive to your neighbors. Be attentive to the elderly who are frightened by age and crime and change. To children whose imaginations are blunted by technologized leisure. To youth who are seduced by conspicuous consumption. Be attentive to those whom you love, with whom you share your life. Be wary of the temptation to quick and artificial intimacy. Be wary of the substitution of cliches for conversation, of romantic surrender for self-esteem. Be critically attentive. Ask why. Demand to know why. The troubadour of this generation, Tracy Chapman, is a good example of what it means to be a critically attentive person. Listen to her words. Why? Why do the babies starve when there's enough food to feed the world? Why, when there's so many of us, are there people still alone? Why are the missiles called peacekeepers when they're aimed to kill? Why is a woman still not safe? Why? Love is hate, war is peace, no is yes, and we're all free. Why? But somebody is going to have to answer. The time is coming soon. Amidst all these questions and contradictions, there are some who seek the truth. Why? Answers can frighten, can paralyze. And so the second gift I offer you is the gift of courage. Courage to tell the truth, to do the truth. Take courage. Be a woman of honor. Do not spare yourself in the pursuit of truth. Take courage. Be a woman of honor. Do not compromise the truth. Do not look away. Do not turn away from the truth. Take courage. Be a woman of honor. Speak the truth. Do the truth. Speak and do the truth in whatever occupations you engage, in whatever tasks you perform, in whatever services you render, wherever you are, in the office, in the boardroom, in the daycare center, in the hospital room, in the laboratory, in the classroom, in the lecture hall, in the library, in the laundry, in the classroom, in the supermarket, in the kitchen, in your home, in the depths of your conscience. For to tell the truth is to answer the question, why? To do the truth is to transform the world in which we live. With the poet Mari Evans, I urge you to expose lies, to dismantle structures that deceive, to wage a frontal assault against the banal foundations of evil. I urge you to a truth rooted in reason, in honesty, in love, in responsibility, in respect for and freedom of the human mind. The third gift I offer you is the gift of compassion. By compassion, I mean the capacity and willingness to stand beside another human being, to stand beside and with another human being. To be compassionate is to become acquainted with tears and blood and damage and innocence. To be compassionate is to reverence a child, to foster hope, to listen to memories, to be able to wait. To be compassionate is to stand with large and tender and open heart beside and with those who are poor, those who are marginalized, those who are battered, those who are abused, those who are victimized, the forgotten of our society, to stand beside and with them, not because they are a social project, not because public policy has made community service fashionable, but because they are human beings. To be compassionate is to stand beside and with those who have been rejected, discarded, or ignored in our society. To stand beside and with them, not because they are to be pitied, but because these women and men are our partners in halting the forces of decline, in reclaiming, in reshaping, in transforming our neighborhoods, our cities and towns, our country, our world. Critical attentiveness, courage, and compassion. Three gifts with which to challenge this baffling, contradictory, bewildering, and quixotic situation of ours, of our countries, of our worlds. Three gifts through which you might continue to contribute to shifting the gravity of our decline. Three gifts for your future, for the future of our country, for the future of our world, for your children, the future of our humanity. Women of Emmanuel, the class of 1989, I salute you, I congratulate you. In the words of African theologian Mercy Amba Ojoye, I urge you, be a woman. Seek and work only for what is life-sustaining. Don't just change with the times. Let the times change because you are present. Make a difference. Women and men of Emmanuel, I salute you, I congratulate you. You are the best hope of our future, not because of youth, for not all of you are young. You are the best hope of our future, not because of your power, for not many of you are powerful. You are the best hope of our future, not because of wealth, for few of you are wealthy. You are the best hope of our future because you possess generosity of spirit, strength of mind, and determination. You are the best hope of our future because you are willing to dream, to dare, and to do. I believe you are the best hope of our future. You can change the direction of the spiral of decline. You can change the course of our direction, the course of our situation, because you are present in and to that situation. I say, you can make the difference. I say, be the difference.
And the rich tradition of our friend and colleague, and the many gifts she shared with us, Sister Dolores Harrell. The commencement exercise always has many features, and we have had an opportunity to taste some of those. It's like a movable feast. And if this were a feast, we would be moving to the main course. If it were a circus, it would be the main event. Now, given we've had a lot of experience with high flyers today, with the high caliber of people who have spoken to you and who have received awards and degrees, it is now time for conferral of degrees. Sister Janet Eisner, President, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have fulfilled all the requirements for the degree Master of Arts and Masters in Education. We request that the audience not applaud the individual candidates as they receive their degrees. Please wait until all degrees have been conferred, and we will applaud the Master's recipients all at once. Will the candidates for the Master of Arts and Masters in Education degrees please rise and come forward? And we pray God that your cards and the diplomas are in order. Diane I. Cardinal, Masters in Clinical Pastoral Counseling. Rosemary R. Harrington. Patricia Bessie McGrew. Deborah Evelyn Bartlin. The following candidates have Masters in Educational Pastoral Ministry. Carmen J. Coughlin. Mary Caluso Dearborn. Rebecca Marie Binkshan Marr. M. Elish Sweeney, S.A. Doris A. Gill is receiving a Master in Pastoral Counseling, as are the people who will follow her. Christine F. Godfrey. Sister Marguerite T. Hastings, CSJ. Sister Jacqueline M. McFarland, SND. Madonna M. O'Neill, RSM. Joanne M. Smith, Romano. graduates are receiving a Master of Arts degree in Human Resource Management. Patricia Cardenas Adame. Kimberly Richardson Adams. Robin Cerrone. Paula Catherine De Palma. Barbara Jean DeVoe. Melissa Hamlin Fleshman. Susan Elizabeth Gartland. Gail Ann Therese Houlihan. Margaret Kehoe. Maria Renee Loesa. Catherine Ann McEachern. Stephen F. Taranto. Terry Charlton is receiving a Master's in Education, as is Ava Rita Walsh. Sister Janet Eisner, President, will now confer the Master's degrees.
By virtue of the powers delegated to me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the trustees of Emmanuel College, I hereby confer upon you the degrees Master of Arts in Clinical Pastoral Counseling, Master of Arts in Educational and Pastoral Ministry, Master of Arts in Pastoral Counseling, Master of Arts in Human Resource Management, Master of Arts in Education.
Will the new Emmanuel College Master of Arts and Masters in Education recipients please rise for the turning of your tassels? Please change your tassel from the right front side of your mortarboard to the right back side of your mortarboard. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in appreciating this group and recognizing their achievements. Sister Janet Eisner, President, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates who have fulfilled all the requirements for the baccalaureate degree. Again, we request that you not applaud the individual candidates as they receive their degrees. Please wait until all degrees have been conferred, and we will applaud the baccalaureate recipients at once. In art history, Catherine A. Coulter, magna cum laude and distinction in the field. The magna cum laude distinction means that this student has received between a 3.6 and 3.8 grade average on a 4-point scale. Studio art, Andrea Lynn Joyner. Jacqueline Joyce. Mary Elizabeth McDonald. Kelly Ann Sullivan. In art therapy, Michelle Catherine Dow. Lisa Marie Supranit is graduating summa cum laude, having the highest average in her class, 3.0. Business Management, Sarah J. Boudiette, distinction in the field of business management. Patricia M. Champa. Suzanne Semino. Christine M. Humphrey. Lauren Elizabeth Mayo. Kristen Muller. Susan Elizabeth Pollard. Helen Mary Sullivan will be given her degree by her mother, Naomi Sullivan, who is an alumna of the college and the alumni liaison at Emmanuel College. Anne Margaret Britnell is a double major in business management and political science. Lena Marie Cunha is graduating magna cum laude with distinction in the field of business management and health administration. Kara Ann Digby, double major in economics and political science. Suzanne Giaquinto, cum laude, art and English. Robin Beverly Lovegrove, cum laude, English and psychology. Christina Marie Schofield, double major, English and political science. Sharon L. Sullivan, graduating magna cum laude, distinction in the field of business management and political science. Amy Julia Esterbrook, summa cum laude, 3.80 grade point average, and distinction in the field of economics. Lisa Ann Lane. Janine Marie Salvatella. Maria C. Curcio, receiving a degree in the field of English literature. As is Anne-Marie Lucy Delaney. Jennifer Susan Martin. Sandra Ray, presidential honors. This means that Sandra has received a 3.75 grade point average. She is an adult learner who qualifies for this special honor. Michelle Canizaro, English and Communication Arts. Courtney Marie Clark. Michelle Elaine Duchesne, cum laude. Dana Kathleen Brogan. Jacqueline I. Illibor. Christina L. Clowen. Kristen L. McCormick. Susan Ann O'Brien. Susan E. Perry, cum laude. Kristen A. Craven. Christine Mary Sullivan. Noelle J. Niles Verkaderen. Elizabeth Marie Oral, cum laude in the field of French. Elizabeth McCarthy Johnson. Tina Marie Aioli, receiving a degree in Italian. Stephanie M. Arms, interdepartmental major in the field of psychology and business management. Maria Jose Barboza, mathematics and foreign language. Francesca Campi, History and English. Asha Yasin Noor Hassan, Psychology and Business Management. Louise Marie Lessard Sampson, Psychology and Business Management. Andrea McCusker, Psychology and Business Management. Tiffany Gay Nicholson, Mathematics and Economics. Patricia Alexander, distinction in the field of mathematics. Jennifer Lynn Crowley, cum laude. Paola Calzone. Paola is getting a degree here in mathematics and will receive an engineering degree from Northeastern as well. Paige Lee Bessie, magna cum laude, distinction in the field of music therapy. Patricia Agnes Coffey. Lisa Ann Marie DeRocher, cum laude. Mary Ann Reagan, summa cum laude, 3.88 on a 4-point scale. Andrea Maria Tucker, presidential honors and distinction in the field. Maria J. Brandeo is receiving a degree in the field of political science, as is Maureen E. Fitzpatrick. Catherine Helen Goulet, magna cum laude, distinction in the field of political science. Diana Merlin Hunter. Amanda Ann Keating. Anne Marie Maloney. Jennifer S. Puccetti. Nayurka Sadal Vasquez. Linda Dingfelder, that was one of the easy ones, in the field of psychology. Rosemary Fanson, magna cum laude, distinction in the field of religious studies. Anne Jardina Gilowitz, presidential honors and distinction in the field of religious studies. Jane Goulaz, presidential honors and distinction in the field of religious studies. Margaret Riley Lindwall, magna cum laude, distinction in the field of religious studies. Michelle Lisa Collard, Bachelor of Fine Arts. Marjorie Ann Galis. Melissa Ann Coolidge, cum laude. Paula McCullum, cum laude. Jean M. Phelps. Christina Shares, Bachelor of Fine Arts, cum laude, and distinction in the field. Anne Elizabeth Tavares. Diane Elizabeth Lucente, distinction in the field of biochemistry. She and the rest of these students are receiving a Bachelor of Science degree. Clorinda Marie Kelly, cum laude, distinction in the field of biology. Rosemary Catherine Imig. Catherine Jane McLeod, magna cum laude, distinction in the field of biology. Angela Maria Riva. Lisa Ann Sousa. Christine Thayer. Sandra P. Woolridge. April R. McEachern, cum laude, distinction in the field of biology and medical technology. Robin Patricia McCarthy, cum laude, distinction in the field of chemistry. Kristen M. Branca, double major education developmental psych, distinction in the field of education. Elena Wayrinen, summa cum laude, 3.96 in music therapy and developmental psychology. Elvia Bernadette and Julo Teixeira, summa cum laude, 3.91 in education. Lisa Ann Aruda, distinction in the field of education. Patricia Mary Begley, distinction in the field of education. Rena Federico, distinction in the field of education. Tamara Lynn Godbout, cum laude. Carla Rose Izzy, distinction in the field of education. Cecilia Catherine Johnson will be presented her degree by her father, Dr. Carson Johnson, professor of psychology. She also received distinction in the field of education. Colleen Marie Kane, magna cum laude, distinction in the field. Kathleen McEwen, cum laude, distinction in the field of education. Maria Grace Palmieri, distinction in the field. Cindy L. Seeley is an Access Scholar, which is a program, a $5 million program provided by Boston businesses to support Boston public school students. She recently was on Channel 7. Some of you might have seen her. Congratulations. Kelly J. Stedman, distinction in the field. Dorothy Lee Wall, summa cum laude, 3.87, distinction in the field of education. Mary Elizabeth Weidenfeller, distinction in the field of education. Margaret M. Burke, receiving a degree in health administration and also presidential honors. Helen Minahan Clark, health administration. Lorraine F. Cullen, health administration. Barbara Sweet Driscoll, health administration. Hi. Good. Ray Louise Gilbert, presidential honors, distinction in the field of health administration. Anne Murphy Maloney, health administration. Mary Ann Therese Morrison. Taylor O'Connor, Presidential Honors and Distinction in the Field. Sister Phyllis Louise Rooney, SMSM. Susan L. Sambol. Lisa Dennis, Interdepartmental Chemistry and Biology. Margaret A. Johnson, nursing. Karen Mackenzie O'Neill, Presidential Honors and Distinction in the Field. Gail N. Rousseau, Distinction in the Field of Nursing. Dolores M. Stanton, Distinction in the Field of Nursing. Michael Patrick Taylor. Paula A. Venetian, Distinction in the Field of Nursing. Kim Marie Barberi, getting a degree in physics. Selena Elizabeth Toledo, Developmental Psychology. Carol G. Frazier, Psychology, specifically Gerontology. Kelly Marie McCarthy, cum laude and a certificate in Gerontology. Mary Josephine Kante, Psychology, the field of rehabilitation. Kathleen M. Damphouse. Lisa Ann DeJoy. Dorothy E. Della Croce, Presidential Honors and Distinction in the Field. Lori Ethier. Mary Louise Hausman. Laura Jane Leclerc, cum laude. Elizabeth Teresa Warren. Sister Janet Eisner, President, will now confer the baccalaureate degree.
By virtue of the powers delegated to me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and by the trustees of Emmanuel College, I hereby confer upon the class of 1989 of Emmanuel College the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Science.
seat.